When it comes to the discussion of NFL one-season wonders and NFL fan bases, what comes to mind are the 2002 Browns, the team's lone playoff appearance between 1999 and the 2020 season. Another example would be the 2001 Bears, a team that went 13-3, and it was the team's lone playoff appearance between 1994 and 2005. But one team that always gets caught in the middle and is never really mentioned is the 1998 Cardinals, and during this video we will be mentioning that team today. To begin the 1998 offseason, things were about as low for the Cardinals as they had ever been. The team had just come off a 4-12 campaign in 1997 under second-year head coach Vince Tobin. The team also had little hope other than rookie quarterback Jake Plummer, who the year prior had shown a few flashes as being the starting quarterback of the future. Pro Bowlers Rob Moore and Annis Williams also had solid seasons alongside Plummer. The 1998 draft was a major focus for the team as their main focus was on the defense. They selected Andre Wadsworth and Corey Chavez with their first two picks in the draft. They also used a late-round pick on safety Pat Tillman out of Arizona State, a local prospect and fan favorite. Fans had little hopes going into the 1998 offseason, with projections projecting them around 7 wins. The overall lack of fan interest had a lot to do with possible rumblings of a relocation from Arizona. The Cardinals had just moved from Phoenix in 1993. Fan interest was also much more focused on the Arizona Coyotes, who had made the playoffs the year before, and the recently expansion Diamondbacks, who had begun playing baseball in the spring of 1998. The Cardinals were also truly a laughingstock of the NFL. The team had gone 23 years without a playoff appearance since the 1975 season, though they had made it in 1982, that was during a strike-shortened season, and they had also gone 14 years without a winning season, being the last one in 1984. Since the 1993 season, the Arizona Cardinals had lacked a 1,000-yard rusher. The team capitalized on running back Adrian Murrow, who had previously been with the Jets and who had rushed for over 2,000 combined yards the previous 2 seasons. For Arizona, the trade for Murrow cost them just a third-round pick in the 1998 draft. This was more than okay, as Murrow, who despite entering his age 28 season, was seen as someone who could hopefully revive a running game. Since 1993, Arizona had lacked a 1,000-yard rusher, and the team hoped that Murrow would finally be that 1,000-yard rusher who would break the drought. Besides Murrow, there was also return specialist Eric Metcalf, who the Cardinals acquired in a trade with the Chargers during the Ryan Leaf deal. They also signed veteran All-Pro kicker Chris Jackie, who had been with the Green Bay Packers and had won a Super Bowl. Despite the new additions the Cardinals made, the question for their fans was simple. Would you rather watch a team that was regularly blacked out on television, or would you rather watch an up-and-coming NHL playoff contender on top of a new baseball franchise? It also looked like things were going to remain the same, as the Cardinals during their first 2 games of the regular season were blown out by a combined score of 71-24 by the Cowboys and Seahawks. However, despite the embarrassing losses that the Cardinals suffered early on, the team showed that they were not going to give up. The Cardinals rallied to get to a 2-2 record, and from there the team would show that this season was going to be like no other before it. Going into Week 15, Arizona stood at just 6-7. The team's only chance at making the playoffs that year was to win their final 3 games. The team would win their next 2 games both by game-winning field goals from Pro Bowler Chris Jackie, and against the San Diego Chargers that tied at 13 apiece, it would come down to the final 16 seconds to decide whether or not the Cardinals finally broke the drought and made the playoffs that season.
It's a 1-hopper, a 3-hopper now downfield, and here comes Eric Metcalf across the 20 and the 30 on the run. Metcalf across the 40 and the 50. 8 seconds left. And Jake the Snake get him in field goal range. Jake the Snake fires. He's got a guy. Do they get timeout called? They do with 3 seconds left. So the ball is positioned at the 34-yard line. It would be a 51-yard field goal. And here comes Chris Jackie. Jackie, the field goal kicker, was picked up when Joe Nedney suffered a knee injury against Kansas City on November 29th.
Now, Don, he's kicked 2 game winners the last 2 games.
Jackie in the 4th quarter or overtime is 40 for 52 during his career. The Arizona Cardinals, the beleaguered Cardinals, the last winning season they had was 14 years ago. The last playoff team in '82, that was a strike year. The last playoff team in a non-strike year was 23 years ago, 1975.
They are chanting Jackie, Jackie, Jackie. What a moment.
If he hits it, the Cardinals are going to the playoffs. The Demons will be exercised.
They may give him Mesa if he hits it.
It's officially a 52-yarder. Chargers are rushing all 11. Snap and set down good. Ball is on the way. It's hit hard. It's good. The Cardinals win, and they go to the playoffs on a 52-yard field goal.
The Cardinals finally made the playoffs. They finally ended the drought. Jackie's kick still to this day is remembered as one of the greatest moments in this franchise's history. For the first time in decades, the fans embraced the team and celebrated them. The moment for Arizona fans was so overwhelming to finally have their team make the playoffs, they rushed the field in celebration.
Keel, but he must be churning inside, as in his third year as the head coach of the Cardinals, he leads them to the playoffs. Chris Jackie, he liked it all the way. Chris Jackie from Texas, El Paso, a 9-year NFL veteran with the greatest kick of his career. The Chargers hanging in to the last moment despite 5 turnovers in the game.
The Cardinals' playoff celebrations were short-lived as they immediately turned their attention to their playoff opponent. The playoff opponent in this case was the Dallas Cowboys, and a team who had decimated them every time they had met. The Cowboys up to this point were just 3 years removed from a Super Bowl and were still a dangerous threat to everyone in the NFC.
Plummer on a roll, centers wide open, touchdown. Adrian Morrell with his first chance to run today. Morrell midfield in a foot race. Adrian Morrell comes the blitz. Shovel pass to Morrell, touchdown. Rifles this one, and Aeneas Williams took it away. Plenty of distance and straight down the middle. The Arizona Cardinals laying it to the Dallas Cowboys. 12:55 to go in the playoff game. It's 20-0 Arizona.
We're taking the approach of why not? Why can't we be the team that goes places? Why can't we be the team that can get it done? And they've answered the first phase.
That's the end of the ball game. 20-7, the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Jake Plummer led the Cardinals to an upset victory over the Dallas Cowboys 20-7 in the wildcard round. This was also the team's first playoff win since the 1940s, over 50 years earlier. Despite losing in the divisional round to the Vikings the following week, the Cardinals called this season a major success and also a stepping stone in the right direction for the franchise. Though despite the hope, the team would never reach these heights again, and now for the question on everyone's mind. What happened, and why did this team never get back to the playoffs? The first person we're going to talk about is quarterback Jake Plummer. In 1999, Plummer would throw for 24 interceptions, and eventually, after the 2002 season, he would jump ship to the Denver Broncos. In Denver, he would see mediocre success before his eventual retirement in 2007. Another important member of the 1998 squad was Adrian Morrell. Morrell, who was 28 at the time, had rushed for 1,000 yards, which was his third straight season of doing so, and during his age 29 campaign, he would rush for a little over 500 yards, leading to him being released. In 2000, he would sign with Washington before spending brief stints with the Dallas Cowboys and Carolina Panthers. This would eventually lead to his retirement following the 2003 season, in which he had spent a few games with the Cowboys. One of the most important players on the 98 team was one I forgot to mention, that being wide receiver Frank Sanders. Sanders during the 98 season led the NFC in catches with a total of 89 throughout the season. Sanders would remain with the Cardinals until the 2002 season before spending 1 year in Baltimore, leading to his eventual retirement. After the 2000 season, the Cardinals defense took a big hit once again. Hall of Fame cornerback Aeneas Williams was traded to the Rams. Alongside him, Andre Wadsworth was forced to retire after having his third knee surgery. The former third overall pick had had a great rookie year but had never been able to reach that form due to the fact he had had knee surgeries in back-to-back seasons. Following the September 11th attacks in 2001, All-Pro cornerback Pat Tillman would leave the team to enlist in the U.S. military. Tragically, Tillman was killed overseas in 2004 following a friendly fire incident. Upon learning of Tillman's death, the NFL made sure to honor him at the 2004 NFL Draft. The Arizona Cardinals organization also made sure to retire his number 40 jersey, and to this day it hangs in the rafters. Before we get into this, I want to know that I am not taking away anything that this Arizona Cardinals team did. But other than the fact that they beat the 10-6 Cowboys in the wildcard round, they didn't beat an over 500 team the rest of the season. This team was called one of the worst playoff teams because of that. All the teams they beat in the regular season were under 500, and despite that, they were even outscored by multiple touchdowns by those opponents. Since the 1998 season, there have been a few worse playoff teams than this Cardinals roster. You can count the 7-9 Seahawks in 2010, the 7-9 Washington team in 2020, or even the 7-8-1 Carolina Panthers in 2014. There have been some pretty bad ones, and none of them were over 500. I would love to hear everyone else's opinion on this team and who you guys think is the worst playoff team of all time. I would also like to hear who you guys think is the biggest one-year wonder for a playoff team. Until we meet again, and I hope you all have a lovely day.